dedicated to empowering you with information
to make positive choices
and be advocates for your overall well-being.
Welcome to The Health View.
Welcome to The Health View. I'm Yvonne Dunetz, and today we're going to be talking about the do's and the don'ts of hair care in a pandemic. And my guest is Sara Duquette. She is a stylist and education director of Cassandra Salon Spa. Welcome, Sara. We're delighted to have you.
Thank you for having me.
So many people have had concerns related to their hair in the pandemic. Everything from the loss of hair to what to do, just the whole component. Because in the US and other countries, people pretty much have been used to having their hair cut, colored, styled, and a lot of other services every few weeks. What has the hair salon done first to help people be feeling a sense of health and well-being, that they're safe if now that you're open, they can come in?
So first off, we decided to, a week before reopen, which was like the middle of May, we opened May 11th, I believe. We decided to go in there the week before and prep everything. We were fortunate enough to be in a temporary location because we're going through a renovation at the moment. This temporary location happens to be 10,000 square feet. So we were able to socially distance all the chairs. Everything is 6 to 10 feet apart. Processing areas, the sinks, we put dividers in between so no one feels like they're directly right next to anybody. We're taking temperatures when people come in. We have hand sanitizer everywhere. The front desk is trying to make the transactions at the end as touch-free as possible. So if the clients don't want to touch, the credit card machine, they don't have to. And so far, we've been getting really great reviews. Clients are feeling very comfortable, very safe. Any clients that I've had that are extra nervous, I offer to come in early when there's no one there, which has been helpful to take a client at 8:30, 9 o'clock, first thing. It's not as busy. So it's mostly like my older clientele. A lot of them have been very nervous, uncomfortable to come back. And I'll get on the phone with them and just tell them what we've been doing and how we're setting everything up. And we're being really efficient with the laundry, making sure everything's clean and washed. We wipe down every station that anyone has touched in between every single service. And one thing we've heard from our clientele is how much we clean. So it's a good thing. We've been doing well.
And so what are you hearing from your clients related to the challenges that they face and the information that they need in order to get through this? Because it could be in here for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard pretty much everything, I feel that, therapy has always been a part of our job, but it's been a bigger part of our job these days. I think everybody's a little more sensitive than I've ever seen. I think we're all feeling very appreciative of the freedoms and the things that we had before all of this. I think this has made all of us feel very vulnerable. I know myself included, first time ever that I haven't had my job, and I've always loved it and always appreciated what I've been able to do for people. And it's something that I don't feel like is work, but now going to work with a face mask on every single day for 12 to 13 hours, it's grueling, but my heart breaks sometimes for clients that I've grown to love and appreciate, and to see them struggling, whether it be family related stuff with kids and, or even just the lack of feeling beautiful and not being able to have those services done and take that time for themselves. A lot of them are working from home, and you kind of know how that is. If you're not leaving the house, you don't try to make yourself look good. And so one thing I tried to encourage a lot of them to do, even if they were just working from home on a computer, still get up, take the time, blow dry your hair, put on a little makeup. Like you feel better when you do those things for yourself. And in a sense, you work better because you do those things for yourself. So,
I'm sorry, people who can't get into the salon.
Yeah.
What would you recommend for them? Because there are people that they're in a vulnerable state and they don't want to, they need to stay at home and be more protective. What do you recommend for them to do? And what are you seeing? We know there's hair loss. We know people are graying or silvering. They can't do their
Mhm.
color. They can't get haircuts. What do you
Yeah.
recommend from home?
So during the shutdown, a lot of what we recommended was the color sprays that wash out. I mean, my colors are really funny, but I have a purple one because I tend to like fun colors in my hair. But I have a purple, I have a navy blue that I used when we were shut down. This one in particular is KMS. We have a few different ones though at the salon. We have Orbe, Kevin Murphy. They're basically pigment in almost like a powder form, so it just kind of fills in, covers the grays a little bit, makes it look presentable if you need to look presentable, and then it washes out. It's the safest route to go. It's actually not kosher or illegal for a salon to sell professional color to you. I know there was this big thing about that. We had a lot of people contacting us saying, "Oh, my friend's salon sold them a kit, to do professional hair color at home," and it's actually not allowed. The professional color companies won't back you if something goes wrong because it states right on the product that you are not supposed to sell a professional hair color to clients. So we did not do that because we didn't feel comfortable. If something went wrong when they applied it, then what? You're better off not risking it. You're better off just being grateful for the things that you can be grateful for, having your health, being able to stay at home, working from home if that's a thing, being with your children. And, I texted back and forth with many clients while we were out, and I purposely didn't color my roots while we were shut down because I wanted to show them that I relate. I had a lot of salt and pepper in my hair. My roots were probably about this long because they were due to be done well before the shutdown. So I had probably double the amount. And, it was one of those things that there's more important things right now. There are people that are struggling. There are people in hospitals. There are people really sick. And this is just hair. We'll get back to this and it will be okay.
So hair health, we know that when we're stressed, we can begin to lose hair. So what do you
Mhm.
tell people? Are there certain products that they should be doing, shampoos or conditioners? What should they do so that they can get a grip on that?
So one of the conversations I have a lot with people, especially because I specialize with a lot of hair loss clients and, doing hair pieces and working with them in that regard. And one of the biggest things is, keeping your body healthy, working from the inside out, finding balance in your life. That's one of the things I guide people through all the time is whatever it is that's stressing you out, find something that can offset it and balance that out, whether it be meditation, yoga, getting out and getting fresh air, going for a walk, something that's going to de-stress because we all are capable of losing hair when we're stressed. I've had it happen to myself. I've seen it happen to many clients. As far as the physical health of the hair, I will say with the shutdown, everybody came back healthier because nobody was blow drying. So, like the health and lack of hot tools, we realized, and I had this conversation a lot with people when we came back and reopened, because I was like, now we know that your struggles were really heat related because they went months without using hot tools and their hair was significantly better. Because sometimes there's that fine line of not knowing, exactly what it is. They might just feel dry, and often I'll mention heat damage, but most people don't want to spend the money on professional tools, professional blow dryers, professional flat irons. And now they kind of see what damage their tools at home were causing if they weren't using good stuff. So, or not using a thermal protectant. So these were really good educational moments to see that when you give the hair a break, how great it can actually be, how soft and healthy it can be. So I think in a way, the break was good for a lot.
Sarah, you were mentioning about heat having an effect because people not having the appropriate tools. So what do you recommend for people that can't get into the salon now related to what to do, or if there might be another shutdown or
Mhm.
a pause in what we need to do? What can they do to make sure, yes, all the things that you said about eating well and getting out, because the hair is reflective of how we're feeling inside out. But are
Mhm.
there certain shampoos or things that they should use or be aware of to help their hair and conditioners to stay healthier?
Hmm. So depending on what they're trying to achieve, a lot of blondes, they prefer the toning shampoos so they're not yellowing as fast. So purple shampoos, Kerastase has a great line for that. Yeah, I mean, there's many products out there. Kerastase I love personally. It's one of my favorite lines. It's very prescriptive as far as what they're going through and what their hair is feeling. If it's feeling dry, if it's feeling brittle, they have great protein shampoos. There's a new one that they just came out with that really targets hair breaking due to brushing from, when you brush it when it's dry and it just kind of, you get those split ends and it's incredible. I mean, they have some really, really great products. So I would urge people, contact your local salon that carries Kerastase. Call us. I'm happy to get on the phone with somebody and chit chat with them about what's going on with their hair, and then trying my best to prescribe something without obviously seeing them if they don't want to come in. I prefer to obviously be able to see the hair, but if I can't, I mean, we can do whatever we can to help somebody, through this time.
And what about for men and their hair?
As far as haircut, or are we talking? Yeah, haircut.
People have tried to start doing that at home and doing the cuts of their children. And are there certain things that they should be getting, certain like shavers and cutters in order to do it?
Yeah. I mean, I saw a quick meme online that showed the two haircuts that were an option for men. One was totally shaved. The other, he had long hair and a beard. So, I think there's a lot of good tutorials out there. I think with men's cutting, it's not too tricky to learn to just kind of take trimmers and carve out the ears and just keep it clean looking. With some of my male clients, that was what I had recommended. Like, while you're out, just use the trimmers, keep this. If this area gets longer, a good haircut should still grow in well and it won't look overgrown. But it is tricky. I mean, unless you know what you're doing, it is tricky to try and cut your own hair. So I tried to give people tips and tricks, same things with clients as far as bang trims. Those are things that grow out really fast. So, I always teach them to chip into it as opposed to straight across. Then you won't make mistakes. So.
Okay. And for children?
Same. I mean, for moms with daughters, I think it's pretty easy to trim, just keep it clean straight across. And for boys, kind of the same thing with men, just keep it clean around the ears, around the neck, and let it go for a little while. Eventually you'll be able to get back in. One of my sons is growing his hair out. It's fine. It was his own decision. So, and he looks cute. They're kids. So.
And for people that normally color, if they obviously do away with color, what do you recommend for the body as the hair begins to change and just gray and white, or do whatever it's going to naturally do? What do you recommend for people?
For styling the hair?
And keeping the hair
for
healthy
everything?
As it's going through the transition, and for the color to help it keep healthy and well.
So if they're going naturally gray and deciding to go with it, which we've had quite a few people decide to do just in case, the blonde shampoos are great because they help to keep yellow tone out of the hair. So if they tend to yellow due to like the white hair that they have naturally will yellow with well water, any type of minerals in the water, it doesn't stay clear and bright white. So usually I'll recommend a purple shampoo, which will help with that. Oribe has a great silver line, which helps with, gray hair. There's a great line from Kevin Murphy called Young Again, which really helps with the texture. One thing a lot of people don't realize is when they go gray, sometimes the texture is different. And so if the hair is coarser, it feels dry to them. And they're like, why is my hair dry? Why does it feel like this? And it's like, it's not dry. It's just a new texture because the grays that you have in there now are more wiry. And so usually I'll recommend a product line like Young Again, which really helps to coat and soften the hair to make it feel youthful. So it's really just about keeping it healthy. And I urge my clients that do go gray to style the hair a little bit more, because when they air dry, that's usually when it feels kind of frumpy and unpolished because they're used to having hair that was colored. So styling it a little more, smoothing it a little more is going to make it look much better.
And when you say styling it on their own, what are the things you recommend that they do to make it look much better?
Usually I'll recommend a thermal protectant, which will help to protect the hair from heat styling. And then on top of that, depending on their texture, it might be, a smoothing cream or something to help lie the cuticle layer down so that the hair gets nice and smooth and sleek. For some, I might recommend flat ironing it and teach them how to flat iron it. For others, if they have nice curl, we'll talk about a curl routine that will help to really coil the curls and not let them get fuzzy and crazy. So it really is individual, depends on the client. But like I said, I've consulted with people via email. Sometimes people will send in pictures and I'll call them and we'll chit chat that way. So, I mean, there's many ways around having to physically see each other. And there's many ways stylists can help without physically being, in the salon too.
Which is great that you're willing to do that. Now, as you prepare, you mentioned that you're in a different facility and you're going back into your regular facility. How will that be secured for people?
So the mandate actually recently changed. So where before we had a very limited number of people we could have per 1,000 square feet, that has changed now, where as long as we have the plexiglass dividers between the stations, we can actually function like our salon should. Otherwise, we were going to have a challenge moving back in where we would have only had half the people there that we normally do because of the square footage. So we'll have the dividers in between everything. We'll still be keeping up with the sanitation the way we're supposed to. We'll probably still be doing the temp checks and all that, even though it's not a requirement. We choose to do it. We still launder everything. So all the capes get used once and then washed in hot water. So we'll still be following basically all the same practices. The only thing that will change is we'll be in a gorgeous salon with a little less square footage. So we're just going to have to plan accordingly for that.
What are your greatest challenges being a stylist in this time of the pandemic? Because it definitely has changed your life on how you've done business.
Sure. I mean, I think just in general, in my personal life as a mom, having the kids to contend with and be at work, it's challenging because the schedule is different. Luckily, my clients are very understanding. As far as being at work, you know, it's tough. Being in a mask all day is tough. It's a lot, and we have a lot more work on our plates now with all the sanitation and running around and cleaning and help when we try to really help each other and work as a team. So we don't stop all day, and wearing a mask doing that is grueling. And also, it's challenging when you get a new client for a haircut and you can't see their face. I mean, as simple as that. It's part of what we do. It's those little things that you really appreciate that you don't have anymore. And I've asked those clients if they have a picture of themselves in their phone so that I can help design a haircut for them, because without seeing their jawbone and their cheekbones and their face structure, it's really, really challenging to cut a short haircut on someone who you don't know what they look like. So, but all that being said, I'm very happy to be back to work. I would rather be there than not.
So what would be the most important information that you would like people to know about what they can do related to their hair care and how they can feel comfortable with any of the changes going on right now within the pandemic so that they can take care of themselves and feel good about themselves?
I think the most important thing to remember is to be nice to yourself, to take it easy on yourself and understand that we're all in the same boat. Um, there were very few people that were getting their hair colored during that time. So it's like, if we're all looking like that, then we're all looking like that, and it's okay. Understand that, your salons that always took care of you still want to take care of you. So, contacting us and talking to us, if you're not ready to come back in, we can still advise you in the right direction. We know you, we care about you, and we want you to feel good about yourself. But, don't make any harsh decisions. Don't go out and buy a box of color. Don't do any of that stuff, because it's going to hurt you in the long run, when it comes to trying to fix that in the salon after all of this. But just, give yourself that forgiveness and understand that there's other things to focus on at that moment. And when things are safe, you go back to the salon and you'll probably appreciate those services more than ever.
Any other don'ts?
I think the main things are just, don't cut and color your own hair. We go to school for this for a reason.
And as far as the do's?
The do's would be reach out, reach out to each other for advice, reach out to us for advice. We're always here for you, and be nice to each other, So what if you've got a little bit of regrowth? It's okay. We're all human and we're all going through it.
And for the hair loss and taking care of the hair related to products can make a difference?
Products can, using the right things can definitely help. I think one of the biggest things right now with hair loss is lifestyle and making sure that you're de-stressing as much as possible, because I think a lot of the loss I'm seeing is stress related. Um, so I think balance is key, healthy diet and balance.
Now, in the salon, besides hair care, you also have, facials and things like that
Mhm.
and other types of services. How have they been affected? Are they still operating? Or because, you're not supposed to, you're supposed to have distance between. So what's happening with that?
They are in the spa. They have a little bit more regulation as far as wearing the face mask and then also a shield, so that there's two layers still in between you and the client. Obviously, getting a facial, you can't wear a face mask, but it's been okay. I mean, we've been doing okay. I think it's affected the numbers a little bit as far as how many people are coming in, but we still have a steady flow of clients. And I think it takes that first appointment, people starting to come in and realizing, like, wow, okay, they're keeping this really clean. I feel safe. So it's good. I think we've been doing really well with that. So, and we'll continue to do that in the salon when we move.
And for people who may be listening to this that aren't from the New Hampshire area, what would you recommend for them, the questions they should ask and look for if they decide to go to a salon to get, hair care or any other services? What types of things should they look for related to people following the recommended healthcare
I think
regulations?
So I think, every state is a little different as far as they're handling it. So I would make sure that you're following the safety guidelines and regulations set by your state. But I would also encourage you to, one of the best things that we did was not just follow what was mandatory, but also follow what was suggested. And it wasn't so much because we personally thought that the mandated stuff wasn't enough. It was more about people feeling comfortable and safe. It was more about us really taking that extra step to care about our clients and do everything we possibly could so that when they walked in the door, they felt comfortable. So if you're not sure what a salon is doing, call and ask. And if they don't have the proper answers for you, I wouldn't go there. Make sure that they're able to well educate you on what they're doing to make you feel comfortable. And then what we did the week before too is we had the entire staff come in that week prior to opening, and we trained them all and showed them exactly how we were going to run through a full service and what was expected of them. And even the staff said they felt much more comfortable after going through that. So it's making sure that everybody in that business is working as a team and that they're all following the guidelines.
That's very important. And I appreciate your saying that, because that's part of what we want to do is educate, not have people fearful. But you're also
Mhm.
protecting you and your staff too. So it's a
Yes.
two-way street, because the mask can have a significant impact on helping people, and keeping
Mhm.
that cleanliness is critical, as well
Yep.
as the distance. So is there anything else that you would recommend for people?
I mean, I would. My biggest recommendation is just don't be a stranger. I think sometimes when people get uncomfortable, they tend to shut themselves in and not reach out. And reach out. It's okay, even if it's just to chat with somebody on the phone and just get the right advice. It's going to make you feel better. I think that's the biggest thing. And if you're not comfortable with the salon you're in, find one that you are. Call around, talk to people, feel people out. You'll know when it feels right. But I just think that like taking care of yourself first is most important, and making sure that you're comfortable walking in somewhere.
And is there, like, if you Google hair salons, are there particular types of Google search you should put in related to what you're looking for that you would recommend for people?
So, in my opinion, we're part of an organization called Intercoiffure, which is a international organization. It's the best of the best that are involved in this group. They're the most wonderful, kind-hearted, amazing professionals I have ever met in my career, at almost 18 years doing hair. And I would say that, look up Intercoiffure salons, find one, guarantee you won't be disappointed.
Very good. And if people wanted to find out further information, you're encouraging them, if they need to contact and reach out to their stylist.
Hmm.
So are
Yeah.
generally stylists like you available for people to call or connect with via email to be able to have that connection to ask questions, or is there a process to go through?
So generally for me, my schedule is very busy. So when I'm behind the chair all day. But the front desk is great about they'll take a message, we'll get back to you. I might call them, I might ask the desk, ask them if it's okay if I call from my cell phone. I may call them on my personal time. I mean, because right now I'm in the salon a little bit less because of, family being home. But we'll find a way. Sometimes it's email. Sometimes if it's easier, we'll email back and forth. They'll send me some photos. We'll chit chat about their hair and go from there. So, there's a million ways to correspond. Sometimes I'll say, give them my cell phone number, have them text me. It just depends on the situation. But I always try to make myself as available as possible.
That's wonderful. I think this has been very, very helpful, and I really appreciate the information that you shared, because it is a very challenging time and we want to make people feel as comfortable as possible. And knowing what people like you are doing in the businesses of salons and spas to protect people is critically important, so that they know that there may be a difference between yours and somewhere else, and that they really need to do their homework to know how to be safe in a situation.
Absolutely.
So I thank you very, very much and appreciate your being part of us. And is there the website for Cassandra? Can people learn more about what you've done in preparation to keep people safe if they went to your website?
We do have a brief, COVID post on there, but also following us on social media helps. Following Cassandra Salon, I would say you'll see more active posting on there as opposed to like a website. Anything on Instagram, anything on Facebook, we're more actively posting on the social media sites.
And what are the types of things you're telling people on those sites?
When we first opened up, giving everyone an understanding of what we were doing to make them safe. We had sent out an email to all the clients whose emails we have to let them know what to expect coming in and how the process was going to go, and that they'd have to wait in their car and just call us when you're here, and then we can bring you in, that kind of stuff, just so they didn't feel uncomfortable. And then just posting, different reviews, that clients are leaving saying how safe they felt. And I think that goes a long way when someone comes in and says, wow, I sat there during my hair color and saw everybody cleaning the entire time. That makes people feel really safe. And we've been very consistent with that. So we try to post those when we can, and then just the regular stuff, the stuff people want to see, the befores and afters and the exciting stuff, because that's why they're coming back.
That's wonderful. Well, Sara, thank you so much for sharing your time and your expertise with us. We appreciate it. Until next time, be well and take care.
Thank you.